Hello, my name is Ryder Searle, and today we will be talking about debunking ideas in education. So I want to start with logical consequences versus punishment. There are many ways to handle bad behavior in a classroom. Every student is unique and needs different reinforcements and consequences for their actions. I want to start off talking about this because this is something that we learned about in another class this year, and they are very similar, but the difference is in the way that it is presented. In the book, How to Reach and Teach Children with Challenging Behavior, they say logical consequences outline the student's choices and their consequences calmly and factually, providing the structure for the student to make an informed decision. Punishment, on the other hand, is giving the child a consequence without giving them a choice or learning opportunity. For an example, Jimmy is talking while the teacher is talking, and the teacher sends Jimmy to the hall immediately. This is a punishment because the student cannot make an informed decision to stop talking. The student is simply punished right away. The reason I start with this is because I want to debunk a common practice amongst teachers of taking away recess as punishment for bad behavior. First of all, punishing bad behavior may not be an effective strategy for changing their behavior. Rather, logical consequences are a much better option for the child to learn why their behavior was bad. After extensive research, taking recess away for a child is not a good logical consequence. First of all, taking away recess secludes the child from their peers during a very important time of the day. According to an article on seclusion, it is associated with negative physical and psychological outcomes, and children with disabilities and mental health needs are at an increased risk for seclusion relative to their peers. So taking away recess secludes the child during a time of day where they need to be outside running around with their peers. We have talked a little bit in this class about building good and appropriate relationships with students. It is important that students know that we care about them. There was a study done by Ruth Payne that was published in the Educational Review that showed being made to miss break has the highest overall score for disliking the teacher and is the only punishment that causes pupils to dislike the teacher more than if they are not allowed on the school trip. It is important for the student to know that we care about them. Therefore, making the student miss a needed break like recess is not an effective punishment. The question is then, why is missing recess so bad for the student? So, missing recess is so bad for the student because a study was done by Catherine Ramsetter and Dr. Robert Murray, and they say recess is a necessary break in the day for optimizing a child's social, emotional, physical, and cognitive development. Recess is a time where the teachers do not have to direct student activity. The teachers supervise the children at recess, but it is a time for them to decompress and play with their peers. It is crucial for their physical and mental health because it gives them a break to just be a kid. According to the International Electronic Journal of Elementary Education, this open and unstructured recess period provides time for children to acquire social skills that may not be developed within a structured classroom environment. They have also found that regular breaks, like recess, have a huge impact for students' time on task. I do not think I have to convince you that recess is important for children. My point is, teachers should never take away recess as a punishment for misbehavior. It is not an effective strategy for increasing wanted behavior, and it can be damaging to the student because they need that social, unstructured time with their peers. So what should teachers do instead? As I stated above, teachers should give logical consequences to students who act out. The Journal of Individual Psychology says, by using techniques such as encouragement, logical consequences, and mutual respect, teachers can create a safe and respectful environment in which students experience lower levels of anxiety and higher levels of safety, enjoyment, and belonging. Students should never lose their recess time for bad behavior, but there can be logical consequences to help the student learn appropriate behavior. For example, Jimmy is distracting the class. The teacher can say, Jimmy, you have a choice. You can either participate in class and sit in your seat, or you can sit in the back where you'll be able to listen better. It's your choice. This is a practical logical consequence that gives the choice to the student, which helps them take responsibility for their actions. Sometimes it just takes a verbal prompting to help the student get back on track. Once the class is over, then the teacher can talk to Jimmy about his actions and help him learn why his behavior was not acceptable. This is a much better way for the student to learn without taking away necessary break times like recess. Thank you very much, and I hope this was informative for you to understand the importance of recess and effective intervention for bad behavior.